You're listening to the Intercoastal Podcast, part of the Destination Marketing Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Intercoastal Podcast, where we explore the people, places, and stories that make Beaufort, Port Royal, and the Sea Islands so unforgettable. I'm your host, Daquan. In today's episode, we're talking about grit, discipline, and the kind of community that gets built one round, one rep, and one student at a time. Our guest today is Abe Stem, owner and head instructor of the Foundry Fighting and Fitness, right here in Beaufort on Boundary Street. We'll start in the gyms, the story behind the Foundry, and more than 20 years of coaching Marines, law enforcement, kids, everyone in between, and then what it takes to build the fitness home that lasts in a town like ours. And then we'll go through Abe's playbook from post-workout meals, outdoor spots, and the low country recommendations he gives visitors when they come and stop in. So thank you for joining us today, Abe.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, we're glad to kind of just dive in. We haven't had a gym on the podcast, so that definitely is a unique atmosphere, and it's just a unique thing for the visitors, locals, and kind of highlight what you guys do.
Sure.
We'll dive in and kind of talk about how you opened up the Foundry back in 2003. Take us through kind of the beginning and what made you want to plant a martial arts fitness gym right here in Beaufort.
Well, it's a funny story. Me and my friends, when I was in high school, we used to like to watch kung fu movies together. And it sounds ridiculous, but we would watch a kung fu movie, and as young men do, we start to tussle, and at one point we all decided, hey, we should actually learn what we're doing. And so I started looking into some different places that I could learn some skills. I turned to books first, which is good information, but you can't really get instruction on a one-to-one basis there. Mm-hmm. And then we found a gym called McCullough Submission Fighting. A guy named Will McCullough, who you probably have heard about here in Beaufort. Yeah. He had a martial arts school, and we ended up meeting there, and I tried my class and loved it. I signed up. And then a few years later, Will was moving into real estate, which is how most people know him. And so he offered me an opportunity to take over the school and start training people in martial arts. And I've done that pretty much ever since. The Foundry, as it is now, began in 2020. It's the same company, but we grew and developed over the decades, you could say, up to that point. And we had an opportunity to expand and grow and add a fitness center. And so we did. And the space that we are currently in is very large. It's 35,000 square feet. So in order to utilize that space to its utmost, we decided to add some other features to it. So we added Olympic weightlifting, and we added gymnastics. And then we started adding other types of martial arts or other types of fitness. And the next thing you know, we got this whole melting pot of different types of fitness in there. And I think the name is fitting. This wasn't exactly why I came up with the name The Foundry, but a foundry is where you melt different metals and alloys and mix them together to create different types of like steel is made in a foundry. And so basically when someone comes into the Foundry, they're getting the opportunity to combine a lot of different types of fitness, martial arts, gymnastics, to create a new thing, a new person based on that. And we're unique in that we have all that under one roof. I've talked to people who visit here quite a bit, and they always say the same thing. They're like, wow, I wish I had something like this where I'm from, whether it's Pittsburgh or California or Virginia or wherever it is. And I like having that, Beaufort is a unique town. It's got a coastal charm to it. It's got something that other cities wish they had. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that the Foundry kind of has that same appeal where it's people who visit here, they wish they could stay in Beaufort, and some of them move here.
Yeah.
They also wish they could take the Foundry back with them, and I'm glad to hear that too. But we are family friendly. We try to have the whole family under one roof, and that's, again, another thing that makes us unique. I have kids, and I don't want to drive around town from one place to the next trying to find something for them to do, and in the meantime, not have any time to myself. And so having the Foundry allows, let's say, a young girl to do gymnastics. Maybe her brother's interested in boxing or jiu-jitsu. Mom brings them there, and instead of just leaving and going somewhere else, she can have a workout. She can take that time. We also offer childcare, which not a lot of gyms do, while you're working out. So if you have a young child that's too young for a class, they can do the childcare while you work out. And again, it's just something where the whole family can come together, get their workout within an hour, hour and a half, and then head home and do things that matter, have time together and enjoy their company.
Yeah, and like you said, it's so unique. I remember going to the gym with my dad, and at 6 a.m, I would go with them, and they had the childcare, and you don't see that anymore now. And I would go and sit in there while he got his workout, and then we'll go home. Or you are allowing people not only to just have that childcare, but then also have programs to say, hey, my kid wants to do gymnastics, or my kid wants to do boxing, or learn anything like MMA or things like that. That unique atmosphere, not only from a family aspect, but then say you want to learn some of that while you came in to work out, and then was like, well, let me pick up boxing, or let me pick up, these different traits. That's such a unique atmosphere. Can you take us through the early stages of before that was like the early stages of the Foundry and how you got to this point?
Sure. So I started in martial arts, in a style called mixed martial arts. So it's a mixture of different types of programs. So punches and kicks, but there's also grappling from wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And we combine that all together. What we started to do a couple years before the Foundry grew into what it is now is we started implementing some jiu-jitsu specific classes, and then we introduced some boxing only classes. And those were very popular for us. So we had martial arts, and we have mixed martial arts, then we had jiu-jitsu, and then we had boxing. And those programs were really good. And then we added Muay Thai, which is a kickboxing form from Thailand. And that was good too. And so even by itself, we had 4 different styles of martial arts. But when we started adding in the different fitness sides of things, that's where, we started to branch out a little bit more to outside of my comfort zone in terms of owning a gym. I didn't own a gym before that other than martial arts. And so it was a learning process, but I had a lot of good help along the way. And the thing is, like, just seeing the opportunity for people to change their lives in that way, transform themselves. We typically offer self-defense classes as well. We've offered that with colleges and things like that. And I've worked with the Marine Corps at Paris Island. I've worked on the air station in different areas. And then I've also worked with law enforcement on a number of different things. And so the opportunity to work in the civilian realm and help people defend themselves was very important for me. One of the other things that we offered that was a huge growth point for us, but it's kind of sad that it's a growth point, is our bully prevention programs, because there's so many kids who deal with that. And Beaufort's a good town, but in any town, you're going to see that the kids struggle with bullying. And so giving them the confidence to defend themselves or stand up for themselves at least. And if nothing else, we don't train kids to be violent to other kids, but just being able to stand in a situation without having fear, with knowing what to do, that's a very powerful thing. And so we try to empower people in a number of different ways. In terms of our other programs, so our Olympic lifting program was headed up by Coach Ray of Team Beaufort, and CJ Cummings was, and still is, a member of the gym. He comes in and works out. He competed in the Olympics in 2020, which ended up being 2021 because of COVID. But he competed in Tokyo in the Olympics for Olympic weightlifting. We have another member named Hala, she competed as well in the 2021 Olympics. And so we have some Olympians that train there. We also have a number of different martial artists, like people who fought in regional, local shows, and just, gymnastics. So one of our gymnasts took first in states all around in her age group and in division. So even though we have these new programs just within the last 5 years, we've seen great results, and it comes down to the capacity to have multiple disciplines under one roof. So kids can get a workout, even though it's martial arts or gymnastics based, they can still get a workout. And again, it was trial and error. A lot of it is trying to figure things out, because this really hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
It's not a gym model that a lot of people have approached. I would say it's more complicated than most people are prepared for, but as you said in the beginning, grit is part of who I am, and so I'm not going to give up easily. I'm going to keep working at it until we figure things out. And I have a great team that's been very supportive. Our staff is great. Our coaches are amazing. Our trainers are awesome. So we have all these different people and parts that make everything work the way it does, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
And I want to focus on your words where you said you want to make it work. You guys do a great job of not only just having the gym or these different classes, but expanding more outside of that with tournaments. I remember when I first moved here and you guys were hosting the strongman competition. So the fact that a gym, which you guys are way more than just a gym, but gym, arena,
Sure.
aspect can host different tournaments and things like that, which we'll kind of come back to. But you guys do a great job of doing multiple things in that one building, from MMA tournaments for locals and for people coming into town, and being open and willing to work with the Beaufort Area Sports Council as well, with hosting different opportunities. So can you kind of take us through that aspect of why it's important to kind of open your doors to do multiple different things?
Sure. So I think that we are blessed with the space that we have. It's a large space. Like I said, it's about 35,000 square feet. For most places, like a town like Beaufort, most gyms are not going to be that kind of square footage. And so with so much space, we have the opportunity to do more than just fitness in general, fitness. And so we've been hosting events there for, I think it's been about 4 years now. I think our first event, as far as our Beaufort Brawl events, the first one I think was 2023, so third year now. And in that time frame, we've had a good amount of success in terms of people who are interested in that. We've sold out multiple events. This is our 7th one coming up, and we've sold out at least 3 of the last 6 that we've done. And so it's a great opportunity for our athletes here in town to get a local spotlight. What people don't understand is that the national level, everyone knows who these national athletes are, people in like the NBA, for instance, but those people started in towns like Beaufort, and they started in places that didn't have the facilities and didn't have all the things that they grew into as they get into their professional careers in sports. But the Foundry gives us an opportunity to let these people experience local competition, to get experience and practice and learn what they need to work on before they get to a bigger stage. And by no means do I want to just, say it's just a small show. It's a pretty amazing event, I think, but we offer the opportunity for these events for the people involved, for the fighters, but also for the people in the community to have something fun to do, something that they can go out and enjoy themselves. We offer food and drinks, and there's music, and it's just a really good, even though there are those things, it's a very good family environment. I mean, people think fighting, but we have jiu-jitsu matches and kickboxing and all that kind of stuff. When it comes to the other type of fitness events like powerlifting or strongman, or we're trying to do an arm wrestling meet. I think that's going to be fun.
Oh, nice.
So things like that are just ways to like get the community to and be involved, give them, like I said, a local place to go. Going back to my past, when I started training, the closest grappling, like for jiu-jitsu, the closest grappling tournament at that time, and I'm dating myself, early 2000s, was like Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'd have to drive 9 hours plus to get to a tournament. Or fly, and I couldn't afford it at the time. But I had to drive down there and get a hotel and everything, and then have my matches. And it was something I was willing to do because I had a hunger to compete. But just the opportunity that these guys have now and locations like we have is great, because they can compete locally. They don't have to drive hours and hours and hours to find matches. And so we like to facilitate that, and it's expanded past just martial arts and fitness to we're doing. I would like the Foundry to be like a venue of sorts for the community. Now, not everything would work in there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We don't have a pool, so we can't do like swimming activities or anything like that. But we are looking at doing a gaming convention later this year, which is going to be awesome. And then other things like that, like sports memorabilia, perhaps, and some other things to give people a chance to come together in like a trade show setting, or another type of event that they can, use that space and benefit the community.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head when you say Beaufort is a community. Like, you guys being that focal point, not only just for gym goers, but being that focal point for people to get out and do stuff. And then you guys are trying to help with the nonprofit and working with students who are being bullied and other nonprofit activities to help them kind of flourish beyond just gym and working out and MMA and things like that. But Beaufort's a military town. Why does it mean so much to you for your gym to be like the community turns to?
I think what it comes down to is anybody who's involved in martial arts for a certain amount of time, you start to transition from a place of like, I liked the idea of martial arts when I was a teenager. I liked the idea of, like I said, the competition side of it, the fighting side of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who I am internally. But at the same time, the more you do it, the more that you understand this is for protection. It's to keep yourself safe, your family safe, help other people. And I think that most martial artists who've been training for a while, they start to get to the point where like, you know what? I can take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel confident that most people I'd be able to hold my own against. And so how can I help others do the same thing? And that's where the coaching and the teaching mentality comes from. But it also moves into the next phase too, when it comes to like the bully prevention or the nonprofit that you talked about. So your Turning Point is a nonprofit here in town that we host in the Foundry. We support that program, and it's for young men and women who may be struggling, sometimes legally, sometimes just in their behavior, where they need a helping hand. A mom or dad or something like that needs a helping hand, somebody who can help mentor their child. And we've seen some good success with the members that we've had so far. They stick with it. If they come to the training sessions and they go through the mentoring process, we see people turn their life around. That's where your Turning Point comes from.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be a member of that as well, that team, and to have it in the Foundry. But in terms of like our community as a whole, our military, we're very supportive of military. I mean, I don't think most of the community could survive without the military in this area currently. And so it's good to have people that you can inspire and help, especially people who are putting their lives on the line in battle and the risk that can come with that. Being able to teach Marines how to defend themselves in close combat situations, I think is amazing. It's a great workout as well. So giving them a place to work out and improve their skills overall. But just the community you build. I know that for most people that I've talked to end up coming here and staying for an amount of time, that this is kind of where they find themselves home.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of military people that even though they take orders to go to the next duty station, there's a lot of people who return back here because of that home nature, that home vibe that you get from this area. And it's the same thing with our gym. We hope that when they do come back, they'll find their home back with us, because that camaraderie and that closeness that we get in that facility is great. It's like, it's called the Foundry Fighting and Fitness, but I like to add a couple other F's in there. I like faith and family. You know, we have a very faith-based group, but we're also very family-oriented. And I say that not meaning your family is in there, but our family as a collective. Mm. We're there to support each other. We're there to help each other, help the community out as well. And we've done fundraisers and other things, drives to help the community, because we have members that care so much about other people. It's a great community to be a part of.
Yeah. And like you said, the melting pot helps it emphasize the community build, where you have, like, I'm just thinking, say, you drop your daughter off at gymnastics somewhere else, and then you have to take your kid all the way over the other side of town to go to boxing class, and then you're trying to figure out when you're going to work out. Being able to bring the whole community together, and now you have it all in one building, it definitely helps make the community more than just the outside community of Beaufort, but the community of the Foundry as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I trust people for the most part, but at the same time, it's a lot more comforting to be able to look over in a workout and see your child doing their class, or to know that your child's in childcare and safe, and like, you don't have to hire a sitter, you don't have to, all this other stuff. I think it's just a good opportunity. And I think a lot of young mothers and people with young children, they put themselves on the back burner a lot, their health on the back burner, because they want to make sure their children are safe and taken care of. And there's nothing wrong with that in terms of keeping people safe. But I mean, it's still important to get some time for your own health, your own well-being, both physically, mentally. And so that's why we offer the childcare, like you were talking about. Gold's Gym may have had it in the past, and some other places have had it. But it's just, people start looking from a business side. It's like, I don't want to deal with the hassle of having kids in there. But probably 50% of our business is kids, having kids in different classes. And so a 3-month-old or a 5-month-old to me is part of the family. They can be in there and be safe. And we do follow all the safety protocols and everything. But it's just that's a good way for everyone to appreciate it. And even like the elderly people that we have in there, some people who are retirees who moved in the area, people are coming in for health reasons, because they're aging up and they want to make sure that they keep their vitality. That's a big part of it too. And those are still family, even though, they have their own families elsewhere.
Yeah. So 20 plus years of coaching is a lot of students walking through the door. Is there a story or a transformation that kind of sticks out to you?
There's quite a few, actually. I mean, it depends on what you're talking about, but we've had athletes that have competed on big stages. I know that one of the members of the gym who I trained for a little while, he's competed in the UFC. He's currently signed to a record there, or to a contract there.
Nice.
We've had people compete in, like I said, large regional events, televised and untelevised. Bare knuckle fight championships. We've had lesbians in the gym. But we've also had people who just, came into the gym at the end of their rope, not knowing what to do, struggling, and they found their way there. And, through that, we're able to build confidence. We're able to build discipline. We're able to put their feet underneath them and get their stuff back in order and make it through the tough times. Those are the ones that impact me the most, I think, is just, and body transformations are important, but there's so little support for people who are struggling, like mentally as well. And so having the ability to push through things, to learn how to be disciplined, to have that drive of the person next to you on the mat saying, hey man, I can't wait to see you next class. Have people that rely on you, but also that are looking forward to spending time with you. I think those are all important factors of the community that we have there. But as far as like single transformations, I mean, I've seen troublesome kids do great things, become coaches with me. I've seen guys who are in their 60s who everybody might think, well, they're too old to do jiu-jitsu, get on the mats and toss around the young guys. I've seen women who are 100 pounds tap out full-grown Marines.
Yeah.
It's all inspiring to me, seeing what people are capable of doing, and I'm part of it. I'm there for it.
Yeah. So one of my friends does jiu-jitsu, and he actually became a teacher. But I remember in high school when he was just starting out, and I saw him build bonds and that community, like that you carry it with you longer than you think you will. He ended up meeting his wife in jiu-jitsu, and they got married, just had a baby. So it's just really cool to kind of see that aspect of things. Like you said, that community feel. You see people who, they started in high school and now they're, 25, 26, and they could have met their wife or husband in one of your classes, and now you're thinking, oh wow, like we kind of started this family in our family aspect of the gym. So it's just really cool to see that aspect of the Foundry. So, and you guys do a great job of giving people a home to go to. Like they're looking forward to come to the Foundry to work out, or they're looking forward to come home as far as jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts or gymnastics, things like that. But fitness trends kind of come and go. What's the philosophy that you kept the Foundry standing? while a lot of gyms have come and gone.
Well, we started the Foundry. We signed our lease, basically formed the new identity that we were, the Foundry, March 1st of 2020. And I don't know if anyone remembers, but about 2 weeks later,
COVID.
the whole government went in blitz mode and shut down everything. And so it was a pretty interesting start to our business at the Foundry. I think just being hard-headed and knowing that there was something worth working for is there. One thing I do take very much from jiu-jitsu and martial arts is this: the times that you're in trouble is the times you need to be tough and weather the storm. And self-defense, if someone's pinned you down and they're much bigger and stronger than you, it's easy to give up. It's not easy to find a way to overcome that person. And so that's something that's definitely been pretty much ingrained in my DNA at this point, is to find a way to get out of trouble, to find a way to a better position, to grow and to develop and learn skills to do that. And so the trials that we've had over the years have been something to overcome. And so it comes down to just having determination and seeing what works. And we've had programs in the gym that we have put on hold for a while, or that may have moved on. And that's part of the good thing of having multiple styles, is that we don't always have to have the same thing in there. But it gives us opportunities to try different types of activities and different aspects of our business. But I think that if I was going to give somebody advice when it comes to having a business like this, or to try to move forward, is just to understand that there's going to be conflicts. There's going to be things and speed bumps that come in the way. Like in training martial arts or fitness, there's going to be injuries you have. You can't let that be the reason that you quit. You can't be an excuse to give up. Yeah, it's figure it out and keep pushing, and you'll see things come from that. And call it stubbornness or call it willpower. Either way, I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah. And there's something powerful about a place that's been showing up in the same community day in, day out for over 2 decades. Abe has built that here in Beaufort. So now let's flip the script. Instead of what brings people through the Foundry's doors, let's talk about what you guys do to step back outside of them. When a visitor wants to actually move while they're in town, run, paddle, hike, train, where is somewhere you send them in Beaufort, like if they wanted to get outside?
Well, I mean, I love the community here. I love the outdoors as well. I mean, one of the parts of my youth growing up here that always stands out is Hunting Island. Obviously, I love going to Hunting Island State Park and seeing the beach and the wildlife out there. So I definitely, when I have out-of-towners come into the gym, I always recommend they go to Hunting Island. As far as our local community, I know that our town is currently going through a lot of renovations, so to speak, at the moment.
Yeah.
But our downtown is still a good spot to walk around and see the historical sites. I was just talking to somebody who's visiting from Washington the other day, and I said, I asked him, are you interested in history? And he said, well, my mom used to be a history teacher. So I said, this town's full of that.
Yep.
So she would love it here. And there's just so much history built into this city that I think that I try to tell people, go around, even as a young teenager and stuff like that. Before my fighting days, I remember just coming downtown at night and just walking around the streets and the quietness of the night, and just seeing the beautiful trees and the houses. And it's just such a unique experience, I've been to Savannah, been to Charleston, and those are beautiful as well, but they're a little bit more busy, a little bit. If you're into the nightlife and the loud noises and stuff like that, I get it. But for me, it's just pristine, calm, can get around and see some great sights and not have to worry too much. And I just like that part of it. So I'd recommend that. But obviously there's people into art. This is a great place for art. My friend Mary has a gallery downtown. I definitely recommend checking her place out, Tebow Gallery. And then just so much different things that I would tell people to look at. The Sands, always a good time down there on the boardwalk out there. Going to Land's End and seeing the Fort Fremont out there. I think that's kind of like a hidden gem.
Yeah, it is.
People don't really know about it, but as a young person, that's an epic thing, you know, a young boy that's like a fort in the side of a hill. That's crazy. And I think that more people should visit that, but keep it clean and treat it with respect. And then, there's just a lot of nice communities and neighborhoods and stuff that you can take tours around as well. So I guess that's my answer is if you're going to get out, go to those kind of places. Those would be good options for you.
Yeah, and you guys aren't too far from like the Spanish Moss Trail. It's right there. You can easily bike it and then go to the gym, or whether like you left the gym and wanted to get a bike and or just walk the trail, that's also available.
And one of my other friends, and who's a member of the gym there, Mike, he's got a kayak rental business here in town. Mike's an awesome guy. He's got good business. He does paddle boarding and kayak rentals. Yeah. He does tours. So I think it's a great opportunity for people who want to see the water and the life. So many different fishing charters around here.
Yeah.
I've worked with quite a few of them in different capacities. And so, I mean, if you like water, this is a place to be.
Oh, yeah.
If you like the southern atmosphere, this is a good place to be. If you like history. So it's just a good mix of different things to do. Again, I think when it comes down to like young kids, that's where maybe, some of this stuff is awesome if it's presented right, but little kids might not enjoy the historical tours just as much as their parents do.
Yeah. And like you said, there's so many different aspects here in town for people to do, whether it's older kids, younger kids, or no kids at all. There's so many things you can kind of get into. So let's talk about food. After a hard workout, where are you eating in Beaufort? Or if someone was like, you're hosting a tournament and they brought their family and they competed and now they're got a little break in between, where would you recommend people to go?
Well, I got a lot of friends in the food industry.
I was gonna say, you don't want to upset too many people.
So I don't want to like pick on anybody specifically, but I mean, there's the staples here in this area. I mean, I remember since I was young, 11th Street, in Port Royal, where Dockside was. Now it's Fish Camp. It's always been a great environment there. The views are just epic out there. And downtown, Plums is something unique. It's been there for a long time, but it's a good little place for a lunch. Blackstone's Cafe downtown. I always take people there when they're looking for breakfast. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's just that it's so much Beaufort. It's so Beaufort that you got to go there if you're taking people out there from here. And then obviously there's some, other places where we are in the Beaufort Town Center. I typically would recommend like Poncho's is I feel like Mexican food is right across from us in the parking lot there. There's a Thai place, Well House Juicery in the town center. That's one of my new favorite spots Tim and his wife Sam have there, and it's just good fresh juice. If you like coffee, I mean, you have your chains and everything, but Urban Brews is where I'd recommend for coffee locally. I haven't tried out the new Olive Branch, and then for some of the fine dining stuff, I mean, I guess you could call it fine dining. I think my buddy Hunter, he's got a good thing going on with Locals Raw Bar on the island. He's trying to upscale the community here in terms of like, you see in Charleston a lot, it's about foodies, and you get to see those like more, newer style of cooking and French cuisine and all that stuff. And Hunter's great at producing sustainable, and like he catches fish and he imports things, and he's doing what he can to like provide good quality seafood, but also other types of food as well. I would definitely recommend Locals Raw Bar. And then there's so many, Scratch Kitchen, and you got Shell Ring if you like a brewery. You got just so many different things. So those are my shout outs for now. But if I didn't mention you guys, then don't get mad at me.
Yeah. No, like you said, there's so many different things, and some like especially specific foods, and everyone has different taste and atmospheres, everything. So it definitely changes depending on what you're looking for. And Beaufort has all those different opportunities to experience. So for Beaufort being such a strong military first responder community, and for people being stationed here or people visiting for graduations, they come through your doors all the time. So I know you see a good bit of visitors. If a visitor was only going to take one thing or one piece of advice from this episode, what would you want it to be?
If I was going to give it advice, so this isn't just about Beaufort, this is just in general. So I tell people all the time, difficult things are worth doing. They form you into the person that you are. And I think that while this town is a laid back vibe and stuff, it's a community of people who have had to go through adversity at some time or another and have had to overcome it. And I think that is important for people, is just to understand that you don't get stronger without lifting heavy weights. I try to tell that all the time. So you're going to go through things that you don't want to do in life. But that's what makes you stronger. It builds character. It gives you determination. And the people that come into the Foundry to lift weights, they're doing it. They're paying to do it.
Yeah.
They're paying to put their body through stress so that they will get stronger and they'll get the physique and the lifestyle they want. And I think that a lot of people are they get nervous, or they get a little bit daunted when things don't go their way right around. But that's going to make your determination grow. It's going to make your character grow. And I think that is what has definitely helped me over the years, to say, you know what? If I haven't solved this yet, there's a way to solve it. I just got to figure it out and keep working at it. And so far, we've had some amazing success with that.
And that is definitely something that kind of resonates with me. One of the songs I hear in the gym, it says you can't get better without adversity. And usually when I hear that in the gym, it kind of kicks me into another gear, like, okay, now I have to go. So hearing you say something like that, not just from a gym aspect, but just from a community aspect, it definitely, helps everybody who's listening to this episode kind of take that step further and hey, not only is it going to be all right, but it's going to make me better in the long term. So Abe, thank you for spending the time with us and kind of going and showing us the work you've poured into the community from the last 20 years, from start to now, and how you guys want to go further and have other opportunities at the gym and grow even further beyond that. But before we wrap up, can you tell folks where they can go to learn more about the Foundry, whether it's to, drop in for a class, get your kids signed up, or if you're visiting, where can they go?
Yeah, well, you can go to thefoundryfitness.com, thefoundryfitness.com. That's our website. We also have some social media profiles, but you can find all that on our website. And come stop in the gym. We offer a trial pass, like a date pass, for $5 the first time you visit. So it's not a huge investment. If you like it after that, we continue to do day passes for visitors, or you can sign up for a membership, which is definitely the most economical way to do it. In terms of our martial arts classes, gymnastics, and things like that, we always offer a free trial class. We want kids to experience what we have to offer, because we think they'll benefit from it. And so if you're on the fence about whether your kid should do martial arts or if your child should do gymnastics, come try a class, meet the instructors, see what's involved there, see the gym. And I think what you'll see is that, your kids are going to love it. You're going to enjoy the time that you have in the gym there, either working out for yourself or otherwise. And it's just stop in and talk to us. You can call us. Our number's on the website as well. And then the events that we have, most of our martial arts events are going to go through BeaufortBrawl.com, which is our event website for those types of events. You can get tickets on there if you wanted to see any of our upcoming shows and see what kind of news and stuff we have. But other than that, just, stop by and say hey and welcome to the family.
Thank you so much, Abe. That's it for today's episode. Huge thanks to Abe Stem for sharing his story and favorite corners of Beaufort. Don't forget to follow us on social media at visit_BeaufortSC on Instagram or at BeaufortSC on Facebook.
This has been another episode of the Intercoastal Podcast, hosted by Daquan Mickens and the team at Visit Beaufort, Port Royal, and the Sea Islands. Produced by Brand Revolt.